Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PSGL S6 Round 2 in Miami. I'm joined by Punju, and we are here for this evening's race.
What's going on, Chiz? How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Really excited after last week. I think it's going to be a great race.
Yeah, I definitely can mirror that excitement as well. I think that last week showed that, some rivalries are going to start brewing pretty quickly. And that's really fun as we get to just kind of watch that unfold before our eyes. That's always been my favorite part about league racing is watching those rivalries develop and see how they, coalesce over the season. And I think this week is going to be pretty formative for those rivalries. Speaking of which, remember that little battle we had with Rishon and Balaz last week?
I do.
That was exceptional. I'm
That was
wondering
great.
if that's gonna. I'm wondering if that's going to end up kind of showing this week. We're
Yeah.
gonna find out if it does. What do you think?
I mean, it was very great to watch last week. I'm sure we'll definitely see something like that. This week we definitely saw a lot across the entire grid, a lot of these rivalries. I think obviously we only had the first round last week, and we're gonna see people entering the villain era of these rivalries to see who can come out on top. But I think it's gonna be really great to see who can do what.
I like the way you call it the villain era. Speaking of which, with that villain era, I remember reading the chat a little bit, and there was a little bit of heat coming from Balaz after that crash where he ended up unfortunately DNFing. I want to say it was turn 3, and so if I was to pick somebody who's gonna enter a villain era out of those two, I'm gonna say it might be Balaz, but we'll find out.
We
Who
will,
knows?
we will. So let's take a look at the track map, which we will do in a second once I get it up. Um, Here we go.
Hey, speaking of this track, though, this track Miami, as you guys must know, it's 3.4 miles, 19 corners, spread over the next 28 laps is what we've got. And a little bit of a fun fact. So you know how Miami is known as a street circuit,
I do.
but keep in mind it's made in a parking lot. So technically that's not a street, right?
That's a very good point.
So a street circuit by classification has to be at least partly made up of public roads. And if it's a parking lot, it's considered a private road. So the parking lot portion of the track doesn't count as a street circuit. The only part that makes it allowed to be called a street circuit and not a purpose-built track is the fact that the big straightaway before the last 3 corners, turn 17, 18, 19, is technically a public road. That's actually 203rd Street in downtown Miami. So
I did not know that, that's for sure.
and it's this, like I told you, this is a fun fact. So it's only because of this little stretch of road that they're allowed to call it a street circuit. Otherwise, it would be considered a purpose-built circuit. And Jeddah is this weird hybrid, I guess. I think they technically have like a small bit of it as well that's actually real street too. So
Yeah.
That's a nice little fun fact.
It's interesting that those two circuits, because I'm in my opinion, I think they share a lot of characteristics, Miami and Jeddah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not completely, because Miami is much more of a slower circuit. But you have that Sector 1 S section, which is so similar to this first sector in Jeddah. But yeah, it's interesting that those characteristics are shared between those.
That's actually a good point. I didn't even think about that part of it. I've noticed that these street circuits, a lot of these like purpose-built style street circuits, do have a lot of things in common, as you're saying, with that original S section. Another fun one that's kind of a street circuit actually is Canada. I learned this as well, because it's built on a park, so it's technically public roads, but some of it is like always closed off. So it's a debate whether or not they're allowed to call that a street circuit. But Canada also does share a pretty similar slow, windy first sector.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Good. That's good eye. That's nice association. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, so let's talk a little bit about Miami as a whole. So obviously it's a new track. We've only seen the real life race, also the PSGL race yesterday, where I think it was Barry Borman who came out on top. But we've seen lots of different racing. The straight line speed cars really dominating here. So that's gonna really play into the minds of these drivers when they're making their setups. Do they want to go with the higher top speed, or do they want to maybe brave it out, go with the lower downforce? And although they'll be a little bit slower on the straights, get the better traction, get the better downforce through the
Mm.
corners. But I think it'll be really interesting to see who masters what and how they all choose to go about setting all that up.
Yeah, if it was a different track, I would say that 0-0 wing strat that people have been running is still pretty meta. But because of just that turn 1 through 8 sector, that the whole sector 1, and then also like that part where it gets like super slow. I want to say it's like turn 14, 15-ish. That really slow uphill to downhill
Yeah.
chicane underneath the bridge. I mean, that obviously doesn't really matter how much downforce you have because you're going so slow it literally doesn't matter. But that first sector, I think that people are going to pick a slightly higher downforce setup are going to significantly improve upon everybody else in that first sector. So much so that it's going to do more justice than if you were to go for a low downforce setup and a high
Yeah,
top speed.
100%. But yeah. So there's a lot to take in, a lot to think about as they're going to be going into this. Definitely with the sector 1, it's so easy to lose the rear as well if you don't have enough rear downforce, and equally as well through the chicane, the really slow chicane, turn 14, 15. If you're going too slow there, you're gonna lose the back end. You're gonna bottom out over the curb. So it really depends on how much risk people are going to want to take. Sorry, but yeah,
That's
here
good.
we go.
That is a good point. Yes.
Here we go now. Time for
And
quality.
I do also, before we get into the racing, I do want to say thank you again to our sponsors, GT Omega. Seriously, they've been doing us at PSGL a huge favor, and it's really, really awesome to have them as a partner. And same thing to Grid Rivals as well. They deserve a shout out as well. So,
Of course, yeah.
Looks like we're about to get into qualifying, doesn't it?
Yeah, here we go.
Ooh boy. Now in qualifying last week, we saw, obviously some pretty insane laps from Balaz Palmer and Rishon.
We did.
Do you expect anybody else to come out and really show some serious impressiveness during this qualifying session?
Well, we definitely have a few new people, so it'll be interesting. Well, not new, but obviously those who couldn't make last week, we're gonna be able to see them this week, see how their pace can be. But yeah, for sure, I expect we'll see similar people up front. Rishon clearly showing a lot of pace. Ballas Palmer as well. Also, definitely, I think will be up there. But we'll go on board with actually as he's on his outlap, and I have got no audio. Why is that? There we go. Don't know why that wasn't working, but it is now.
Whoops.
Yeah, Rishon definitely up there. Ballas Palmer definitely up there. It'll be interesting to see the people who weren't there last week, who are there this week, what they can do as well.
So speaking of which, who are those new people that are that weren't there last week? I see Lewis Piper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Matt in the Ferrari is new.
Yep.
But I don't want to say someone now who's been there last week. I might feel a bit forgotten.
Yeah, imagine if.
Yeah, I think Matty may have been, although I might recognize him. I can't exactly remember. Noel Cardman, I think he's hosting. I think he wasn't there last week either.
I think you might be right on that one. Yeah, Maddie was here last week.
Oh,
He
was
was
it
kind
my
of like
bad?
one of those. Oh, you're good. He was one of those unsung heroes last week. I think he ended up being a midfield finisher.
Oh yeah,
Could be wrong.
but yeah, here we go. Ballas Palmer
yeah, he was here.
coming down into turn 17 to start his flying lap, taking a wide late apex to get an optimal exit of the corner, going into the main straight now in this final little corner, which is technically still a corner, but we'll talk through this lap now as he brakes heavily into turn 1. Going to be really careful now on the exit through turns 2 and 3 to not lose the rear because it's so easy to. But now going into, again, another S section, turn 4 and 5 and 6. Here we go, turn 4, turn 5. Again, not losing it, not going too much over the curves because you're going to lose so much time. And now into the tricky turn 7. He does go a little bit wide, but his lap is still going to count nonetheless. As he bottoms his car out a little bit on the curb, but still taking a nice line through there. Coming through now into this tiny little kink, which is technically a corner, turn 9, and through turn 10. And we're going to see now him braking again very hard into turn 11 and now into this tricky right-hander, which is difficult to keep your line right and take the right apex, but he does that beautifully as he now goes into the tricky turn 14-15 chicane, goes over the curb, keeps his car planted firmly, and now of the exit of turn 16 onto the main straight now. gets a beautiful exit from there. So they're going down all this long straight, as you said earlier, which is the only part which makes it a street circuit.
The only public road.
Through the really long straight here, this is where you see the higher downforce, heavy braking into turn 17, taking a nice apex. Again, not wanting to go on the throttle too quickly, being careful through turns 18 and 19. But we're going to see what he sets now. It's going to be a 27.2. So good lap from Ballast Palmer, a good banter lap.
That's the first hot lap we have, and that was hot. Oh my gosh. Watching him go through that.
Sorry.
I was going to say, watching him go through that turn 14, 15 section was just insane to me. He's so quick through that turn 14. Like, the way he cuts that is exactly perfect. It is textbook. That was great to watch.
Larson
noticed
a 27.0 to go into first place. Sorry, interrupted.
Yeah, Larson definitely takes Balaz's thunder and throws a good one down. And Jip Van Dam is about to cross the line right now as well.
He goes
not quite fast enough, but still good.
Again, really close between third and fourth at the moment, so it's good to see how close they are. Oh, Lucas Eduardo is on a lap. He does go purple in the middle sector on this really long straight now. Really using everything he's got, braking as late as he can into turn 17, sending it round, getting the car rotated nicely, getting a really good exit there, really pushing the car to the limits. But is he going to go through now? What's he going to set? It's going to be a 27.1 to take second place. A good lap there from Lucas Eduardo.
He almost had Larson. That was bad. As close as you're going to get to it. FedEx did though.
FedEx beats him. So 126.9. Good lap from FedEx last week. Definitely was up there as well in the top 3. At least in quali, I think it was.
Yeah, I think you're right. He was.
Now
the person. I was going to say, actually, I was literally about to say, the people that I want to look out for this week is Copy. Not only a fan favorite, but also tried to do the impossible last week and go last to first. He got halfway there. More than halfway there. Yeah, and so, he's one that I really want to look out for. Another one I want to look out for is Maximilian, who's sitting in 15th right now. And then, obviously, Jip Van Dam.
Oh, Maximilian was great last week, getting through the field as well.
Yeah, he had that incredible overtake. I remember. I remember Rafa Martin said the best one, but Maximilian did have a really good overtake after having some unfortunate circumstances happen to him. I think he got crashed into a little bit and spun, got on the softs, and ended up pretty much recovering his race. So, yeah, he's one I want to look out for as well.
Okay. So
he is valid
on a lap. Maximilian. Oh, Maximilian validated.
Yeah.
FedEx, I think, might be on an in lap. Yeah, he's on an in lap. Yeah. In lap. Everyone's on in laps.
Yep. Basically. So we got a little bit of chill time. So
yeah.
That being said, I know Rafa Martin's last week. In our podium interview, he was, definitely feeling lucky because of all the circumstances he kind of inherited. He did inherit a little bit of luck. And so I know this week, after finishing P3 and still technically as a reserve, he's going to have a lot to prove. So I'm excited to see how he handles the race. Right now, sitting in 6th in qualifying. Our next person to set a lap is going to be Taz. He's about to start a hot lap.
On board with him.
Across the last corner. Yeah, so we got Taz diving into turn 1. All these guys, they're using that start of the outside curbing as their braking point. It's kind of where they're looking for, and they stay on top of it as much as possible. I like how Taz goes really wide, though, on the exit of
the track there.
Turn 3. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I think he actually might gain some extra time there. However, he does look a little bit sketchy into this sector, turn 4, 5, 6.
Oh, he goes wide.
Super wide.
He's going to abandon that lap. Very unfortunate for him.
It was looking good, except for that turn 4 or 5. I think he realized he made a mistake there, and probably why he felt less emotionally committed to it. So,
yeah. Rishon is on an out lap. Let's have a look at him. I think Ed Khan is actually on a flying lap as well. But yeah, Rishon had a lot to prove after last week, dominating. Well, not a lot to prove. Sorry, doesn't have much to prove because he dominated all of last race. But yeah,
he wants to repeat
first lap. He does want to repeat that. Yeah, of course, of course. Oh, is Ayub Khan getting a little sketchy through
you saw that?
4 and 5, yeah. He goes wide into turn 7 as well.
Well, one interesting thing about that turn 7 right there. So, me as a game nut with this game, I do know it's technically a glitch. The game doesn't invalidate you if you go wide on the outside there.
Oh. We'll see if people
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how many people are actually going to use that to their advantage. Because it does gain you about 1/10 to 2/10 of a second if you use it right. So we'll see who's actually going to exploit it and who's going to keep the chill. Ooh.
Sorry, I can't him out there, losing the rear a little bit.
I saw it too. I'm on his camera too. Ooh, that was really sketchy. I have spun there so many times. And it's also fun for me to watch these guys because I know myself as a driver, I would be like 3 seconds behind these guys. So
yeah,
it's always amazing. It's amazing to watch them just put together these beautiful laps and you just sit there in awe like, I don't even know how they do that.
All right, we're going on. Going to follow along with Roshan now on his lap. Going through now the turn 4, 5, 6 complex. Check the left section, as we said before. But yeah, it keeps it very nicely planted through there. Doesn't go wide into turn 7. And this tiny little kink is actually turn 8, even though it doesn't really look like a corner. It is. As he goes purple in the first sector on his first flying lap. Going through turn 8 and 9. 9 even, sorry, 9 and 10. Apologies. Braking very hard into turn 11. As I said, this tricky right-hand section. Difficult to get the line right. Want to get as much as the foot to the floor as possible, but also not to invalidate or anything. Sends it through the chicane. Oh, as he cuts, and he does invalidate. Very unfortunate.
It was it was that turn 15 hop over the curb. That's what did it to him.
Yep. Got to make sure he doesn't do that again. Definitely see penalties of people doing that as well later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
that was good. That was a good lap.
It was a great lap, getting purple sector 1, and then didn't get to finish it. But he's definitely got to get a flying lap with only 7.5 minutes left.
Don't put your eyes on Lewis Piper. He's a brand new one, and he's just crossed through sector 1 at a 30-second sector time. So it was a 30.4, I want to say, was what his sector 1 time was, which is good, not great, but it's pretty decent. I'm expecting him to sit himself somewhere around that 6th through 8th place range, which, by the way, take a look at 7th through 9th, split by, what, 7/100th of a second?
Yeah.
Lewis Piper going to give up that lap. Actually, he just had a big stab at oversteer. I think he's done for it, so.
All right, we're on board with Matty at the moment, who's going to be hoping to get a little bit higher up the grid, sitting in P7 right now. But exits. Oh, as he loses the back end and spins into the wall, and he spins it around fully. The exit is 16, just losing the back end is so tricky there, as he gets passed by the Red Bull of Rafa Martins, who we'll go on board with because I believe he might be on a lap. I think this might be an in lap. I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah, Rafa definitely an in lap. He's 1.5 seconds out of the best time.
Yep.
That spin from Matty. What do you think happened there?
Just got on the power too quickly, a little bit too confident there. So yeah, he's going to be a bit annoyed by that, but it's not the end of the world. He has got a lap in. He is in P7 at the moment. But yeah, we'll go on board with Yip Van Dam. Going to be finishing his lap now. I don't know if he's on a lap. I hope he is, because we're watching him, but exits through turn 17 now. Doesn't want to get on the power too quickly. Does it really nicely into turn 19. To finish his lap, he slides it across the curb. Still beats his time by 1/10.5. That was close. You nearly lost it there.
I was expecting to see some pretty dramatic carnage right there.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. How did he save that?
That was pure driver skill.
That was exceptional.
That was. It really was. As Taz actually sets a purple middle sector now, coming through the long straight, and we'll see what he sets. Hasn't set a lap yet, or at least not a valid lap yet. Going through into turn 17 now. Only 19 corners for such a twisty circuit. It seems like there would be more, but yeah, no, only 19. But he is boxing. He's not choosing to finish this lap. That surprises me. Maybe he figures he can improve. Well, he doesn't have a banker, so yeah, interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's taking a bit of a risky strategy because he's thinking about it this way. You know, if he goes around another time, if he finishes that lap and sets the banker, right, and that banker is going to be the slowest of the pack. That's only 3 positions better than where he's at right now. And that then means he has a whole, 1 minute and 45 seconds less time to go set another lap. Which, right now, means he wouldn't even be getting back to the garage until 3 minutes, which would put him at really, really close margin to actually set his last hot lap.
Yep.
I think he's thinking to himself, like, hey, it's either now or never. And he'd rather have the pressure,
That's true.
but have the opportunity than just take a banker and maybe not even get that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, third time lucky for Roshan now, as he is on this lap. We will go on board with him throughout. A great driving style. He always manages to keep it really smooth throughout the corners. Very confident, I think, compared to a lot of the other drivers. So it's always nice to watch here. But exiting turn 8 to this curved straight. Not really a straight, a curve. But yeah, activates the DRS. Not too much to say about this. He's got his foot planted to the floor now into turn 11, braking hard through turn 12, keeping in third gear, really close to the wall there.
Here's where he invalidated last time.
He doesn't invalidate this time. Was close.
Yeah, he makes a point. He makes a point to really look for his spot. So yeah, that was close, but I'm glad he's not losing any of his confidence. As you said, a very confident driver.
Yeah. But yeah,
however, if I'm being honest with you, this doesn't look like it's the fastest lap.
Yeah, I was going to think
out of
the purple in the middle sector. I think he's wants to try that back. He locks up very heavily into turn 17. He is going to finish the lap. It's not going to be perfect, but it is something on the board. As he just go into P7, I'm sure he's definitely going to come in as quickly as he can to set another lap. We're on board with FedEx, actually, who's currently at 10th up. Oh no, he invalidated. My bad. Lucas Eduardo is either just finished his lap or on a lap. 11 thousandths, I think. 11 thousandths off Rafa Martins. I think he did just finish a lap, actually. Yeah, he's got no ERS. Good for him.
Dude, look at that first through. Look, that gap first through fifth is mind-bogglingly close.
It's less than a 10. It's so close between those.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, that's incredible. The gaps between those guys, and then also you got 10th through 13th is exceptionally close too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's high tier racing. You get these gaps, and it's really amazing to see how close people can really be. But
yeah, what were some of the gaps that we saw in qualifying in Tier 1 or in F1? It was there were some of the gaps were just like actually mind-bogglingly close. Yeah,
the whole pack tends to be like within a tenth of each other. It's really insane.
Yeah. This is definitely not a hot lap for Lucas. He's 1.3 out of his best time.
This is in lap. I think Rafa Martins is on he's on an out lap actually, or an in lap. No, out lap. He's warming off his tyres. We'll go on board with him because he is going to be starting his lap. We'll also we'll go on board with Ballas Palmer because he's going to be hoping to get a little bit higher up the grid with his time. Exits turn 17 now. Yeah.
Now he was last week's pole sitter.
Oh.
So I'm sure he wants to go do that again. Like, that'd be amazing to get back-to-back pole positions, right?
Yep, that would be really dominant to showing it. I mean, last week he didn't get to finish his lap, finish his race even, which was very unfortunate. As Galaxy Lives retires, deciding he can't improve anymore. But yeah, Ballas Palmer now going to be trying to beat FedEx that time, as you said. So back-to-back pole positions. Shows very dominant. I think he can do it. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that last sector was 0.04 of a second, which, to any layman says, like, oh, that's the tiniest gap in the world. But those 0.04 of a second, if he holds that exact pace right now, he puts himself in second place.
Yeah.
Like, that's how close the margin
really
is right now for him.
Interesting note, Roshan won't get a chance to do another lap. So Roshan not going to be up there. He's going to be provisionally in P8. So we'll see what he does. Ballas Palmer, no, taking the chicane, attacking it beautifully through there, actually. Really impressive how he did that. He does go purple in the middle sector, rightly so. He is half a tenth up. That would still put him in second, but if he can find enough time in this final corner, he's got to find about half a tenth again. But yeah, it'll be really close here. He's got to just send it, pretty much. But yeah, obviously he wants to keep the second place as well.
That is a great corner right there.
It was great. He sent it through there in front, turn 19. What's it going to be? He does go pole with a 126.9 flat. That's a big gap. That's almost a tenth to FedEx in second. If FedEx isn't going to beat that, he isn't. No, he does cross the line.
Done.
Stays in second place, second, third, and fourth. Can't do anything about it. We're on board with Larson now, who is 8 thousandths down. He's got to still find another tenth if he wants to have any shot at pole position. But wow.
That was that last sector, 17, 18, 19. Balaz nailed it.
He nailed
like nobody's
it.
business.
He
That's where
sent
he
it
got all
and he
that
did
time.
it.
He got 2/10 out of that.
Yeah, massive. But, Larson now a little lock up, but we'll see what he does now. He's got to try and move up the grid. He doesn't need to improve by much, but he does need to improve. Does he? He puts himself into P4 ahead of Lucas Eduardo. Noel Carman, who is currently 2/10 up on his time, so he can be challenging here as well. Where does he go? He doesn't beat his lap, unfortunately, or not by enough.
No.
As he's 4 thousandths behind Lucas Eduardo.
That's
Look at
heartbreaking.
that! Look at that! What was that 15 thousandths between 3rd and 6th position? Amazing. Yeah, only 2 thousandths between Larson and Lucas Eduardo. It's so close.
That's incredible. Wow. Yeah, those are some amazing gaps. And Maximilian, I think, is the last one to settle
Oh,
out.
Taz goes P2 with a 26.911.
Wow.
I was not expecting that. I wasn't even
Yeah.
watching him. But that is going to be the order now. Taz with a beautiful lap there. Only 3 thousandths off pole position, but those 3 thousandths do mean everything.
Wow. So that being said, with Taz now looking significantly strong at this track, and obviously last week's winner, Rishon, not looking nearly as strong at this track.
Only P.
What are you thinking for the race? Who do you think is going to be challenging for that?
I still
top
have
step?
to say Rishon's going to be challenging for the podium. He did have pace on the laps that he didn't invalidate. That he did invalidate. For sure. So, yeah, I think Rishon will be definitely up there. It depends how the race goes, but Balaz, Palmer, Taz, FedEx, so close. It's so close. It's so hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so close.
Yeah. One thing I do also want to say is Copy, though he is sitting down at the bottom again, I don't think he really minds because he already tried to go first last week. Now he's going to go second to last and try to go to first. So I think he's kind of in his element. And the entire grid is separated by an even smaller margin than it was last week. Now it's only 6/10, just under 7/10 of a second, versus last week it was just over 8/10 of a second from first to last. That's that's amazing.
Yeah, it's so close. I'll just go through all the times here. You can see how close the grid is. So Balaz, Palmer, Taz, FedEx, Raven Martins, Larson, Lucas Eduardo, Noel Carman, Galaxy Lives, Rishan, and yet Van Dan. Complete your top 10. I'll very quickly, sorry, just go on to the times so you can see them. Yeah, just for a split second there. But what did you think of that? Talk me through how you feel that session went.
Well, I mean, I loved the last minute drama with Taz.
Yeah, for sure.
That was pretty cool. And then also seeing how Balaz really does have that clutch gene in him. Like, when he needs to pull it out, he can.
It's raining.
One thing I was gonna say, one thing that the viewers aren't seeing quite yet is it is raining. So we're gonna see if that's going to make a massive difference. Who's gonna perform well? This is gonna equalize the field dramatically.
Definitely.
And so with that being said, I'm really looking at somebody who's in 3rd through 6th to sneak up and actually make their way up to the top step.
Definitely. I mean, it does make overtaking a little bit more difficult on a track that's already quite difficult. The rain's not going to help at all.
But it's also going to create more mistakes.
That's true.
Which means those are opportunities for overtakes.
I mean, yeah, we
no
saw
DRS
drivers,
anymore.
We saw drivers losing the rear end. Oh yeah, no DRS. We saw drivers losing the rear end a lot in the wet. The risk is gonna be improved a lot. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens now in the race, which we'll be going to in just a second.
Yeah, it's fun actually. It's raining, on track right now, and ironically enough, outside of my house, it's also raining.
Do you live near Miami?
How about that? I don't live in Miami. No, a little far away from Miami. I'm way out in Arizona, but which everybody says that doesn't rain in Arizona, but it does rain in Arizona actually.
Wow.
Nobody believes me when I say that. They all think it's just a arid desert, but there's actually some real life out there. With these guys, now here's the question. Since we don't know about the weather, which is my one gripe about the commentary stuff with F1, but since we didn't know about the weather, we didn't know how people were setting their setups.
That's very true.
What I'm wondering is, did Balaz run a drier setup, and did, say, Rishon run a wetter setup?
That's a very good question, to be honest.
Did Rishon sacrifice his qualifying position for a better race setup, or did both of them run dries, run wets? I'm not sure.
We also don't know if the rain is going to go. It could go really quickly, and they still have dry setups on. We don't know, which is obviously a really annoying factor. But Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely if people have wet setups on, that's going to be a massive advantage in the race, especially when the field is this close. Oh, was Palace knocks over the Pollard on the formation lap, but here we go now. This is your grid. I don't think anyone took any penalties. Wait,
Nah.
Rafa Martins, he got into 4th position. I didn't even notice.
Uh-huh.
Did he? Oh, no, he did, but like I didn't know that happened.
Yeah, he had been in 4th position for a while actually. He had a decent.
Oh wait, no,
early,
I don't know why I'm doing it like that. Of course he was.
He kind of sneaks under the radar there, doesn't he?
I don't know why I didn't remember that. Now I remember seeing him. That was yeah, I don't know. My brain just died. But anyway, here we go now as the drivers are going to be pulling into their grid spot. Yeah, the rain. Who's going to get off the best? There won't be any dry lines yet, so the track is still completely wet as Balaz pulls into his grid slot. Everyone now will see who can get the best launch. I really hope the game wants to give me a good camera angle that isn't from behind the driver's view.
We've got a few people who missed their slot.
Yep. Game isn't giving me a good view, unfortunately. But, oh well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And there's lights out, and away we go. The lights on there for a really long time there. Balance Palmer getting a better start than Taz initially. FedEx as well, looking to get overtaken by Rafa Martins. Rafa Martins up into P3 before turn 1. A little bit of contact as a Red Bull nearly spins out, but he does manage to keep it clean. As Rafa Martins does spin out. Really unfortunate for him there. Balance Palmer still in the lead. Already has quite a big gap. Taz right behind him. A second behind. Galaxy is out. Galaxy, I think we'll see here on Rafa Martins on board, did crash into the wall, as there's also a McLaren who spun Matty. Oh, that might be a safety car. That is a full course safety car.
It is.
The rain clearly caused a lot of drama.
One thing that we can't see from the front, but I did see from the back, because I happened to look at the back drivers. Do you know where Lewis Piper started?
I was just looking at that. He's got a position gain of 10. 10 positions there in his PSGL F6 debut.
His launch was nothing short of immaculate. It was a whole nother level. I watched him. I was like actually on his camera. I'm like, I wonder how he's gonna do, because I can watch all the carnage from the back, right?
Yeah.
And this dude, something about like how he got the power down. He got it down exactly perfect, timed it exactly perfect, and he smoked 7 people just from the launch alone before turn 1.
Yeah, great start from him. Rafa Martin's so unfortunate to spin there after a good qualifying, but yeah, Lewis Piper going from last to P6. Great start from him. Light work for Lewis. That's yeah.
It was gorgeous. I was watching that. I'm like, whoa, what is happening? I'm hearing you call out what's going on in the front, and I'm thinking that sounds interesting. But, oh my gosh, what is happening back here is incredible.
I wish the game could give us a proper angle, because it was horrible. I just see the back of the cars. I don't know why it's like that. It needs to be fixed. But yeah, your order is now Ballas Palmer, Taz, Lucas Eduardo, Noel Carmen, FedEx, Lewis Piper, Larsen, Rishan, Yabandan, and then Matt in P10. Yeah, biggest gains, Lewis Piper from P16 to P6, Matt's from P14 to P10, and then Lucas Eduardo and Noel Carmen from was that 6th and 7th to 3rd and 4th. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's pretty good results. The only person that's having to pit after all that kerfuffle was Maddie as well. Was that for damage?
So it looks like which I'm surprised that Rafa Martins came out of that unscathed. I don't even know how, but it looks like it worked out all right for him. So so he's not too worried. I'm sure he knows he can catch up and improve on where he's at right now. I believe he has a lot of faith in himself to get all those positions back.
I love this camera angle through turn 7. They're just a massive wide shot. It is. It's really nice.
They did that same thing at Saudi Arabia on the final turn.
Oh yeah.
And if you turn off it's fun because you can even turn off the spectator menu on the left, and it's just this like incredibly gorgeous panoramic view.
Yeah, I'll do that next time we go around. Actually,
it's funny how us as commentators, we get so excited about these silly things like camera angles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool when the game like makes those like realistic sort of things, and it also does just look really nice. I'm sure we'll see when all the cars going through there, but yeah, is really nice. But yeah, we're only going to have about 27 laps of racing after safety car does come in, which I think will be next lap because Matty hasn't quite caught up this lap. But
you should be right about that. Now, with what we've got right now for this order, obviously our focus is maybe shifted off of somebody like Rishon, who's actually down 3 places, up to something like Lewis Piper, who's up
weird.
10.
Before the safety car, I'm sure he was in P9. Huh, maybe he spun on that lap or something. I'm sure, yeah, because Matt's was in P10. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think maybe Rishon might have had a little spin. He goes into 11th place now. I hope there's not
yeah,
don't know what's going on there.
Somebody just let him through, maybe?
Weird.
Or he's charging through right now.
In the pits again. I wonder if that's to keep the safety car out another lap.
Ooh, some collusion on the grid, huh?
Don't know. That's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm confused with that.
Here's the camera shot.
Oh yes.
Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna try and switch between the drivers so we can see it all.
That is funny.
That is.
It does look great.
It really does.
With that fake water marina.
Yeah.
Now, some people in chat are mad hyping up the Alpines. The Alpine being Lewis Piper. I think they all saw that incredible.
Yeah, rightly deserved
start, and they're like, "Wow." Yeah, Yip Van Dam also is sitting in a solid spot. He did move up 2 positions, so I expect him to have a pretty solid rest of this race. Now it's just a question of who can keep it consistent to the end.
Right.
Matty has caught up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he gonna back off a little bit, or is he gonna catch up? He does seem to be back. No, he's going. He's going. Yeah, so the safety car will most likely be in this lap. I'll be surprised if it isn't.
Yeah, it should be going in.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said,
safety car in this lap.
Yep. So we've got Valas Palmer restarting a safety car. I think he's already done that one time for us before. We saw him restart last week. Do you expect him to take a slower strategy or a quicker strategy?
I mean, I think you see with the slipstream on the main straight, especially in the rain, there's not really. I mean, there is obviously there's still slipstream. I mean, like there's not really much more gain almost. I think in the dry, it's a lot easier to go earlier because you've got more traction. But in the wet, when it's all evened out a little bit more, you want to go a little bit later. But he does go at the exit of turn 17, which apparently all of what I'm saying is. All of what I said is worth nothing, as he does go. He's already got a 9/10 gap to Taz. Taz looking to be challenged by Lucas Eduardo now. But
this is our first opportunity to actually watch some racing.
It is. It
lasts more than 3 corners. So let's see how they handle. Speaking of which, actually, that's Lucas Eduardo diving the inside Taz, and they make contact.
Ooh, it's Taz.
Oh my gosh!
The corner there. Let's keep the position.
Yeah.
He goes off. Ooh, it's just looking very sketchy through there. Nearly spins. But no, he's going to lose a position. He's going to have to lose a position to the Mercedes as well. Noel Carbon up into P3. Great start from him. We'll go on board with Lewis Piper, actually, because Lewis Piper is looking to challenge FedEx now. He's got the slipstream. He's going to go look to the inside. He's using all his ERS. FedEx not using his, trying to save it, but that's the Alpine into P5 now. He's stuck at last. So, really good job from him. Oh, is he actually? He outbrakes himself. And he goes into the back of the McLaren, I think that was. And he's got no front wing. Well, none, but
thoroughly damaged one.
Front wing. He might have to pit and repair that. That is.
Now, if there's anybody who can come back from the back, I mean, it's him. But
yeah, we've seen it.
I don't think he wants to.
Wow, that was. Commentator's curse strikes again.
Yeah, seriously, right? I think that was just a big mistake rather than anything else. I think Taz broke at the fine point. I think Lewis just I think he broke a little bit too late.
Yeah.
He's going to try to pass the
Ferrari? I was going to say, is he going to go down the inside of Matt? No, he does back out of it. I'm not sure if he's going to pit for a new front wing. We'll see. But, yeah, clearly looking very feisty is behind him. Rishon is looking to get into P10, which does. Lewis is choosing not to pit, so is probably going to be looking past soon. But that's the fastest lap. Rishon not able to get past yet, but he does. He's going to send it down the inside of the Williams of Ayub Khan. Ayub Khan trying to get a switchback. And I realised this earlier. I think Ayub Khan is in a different league that I commentated like 2 days ago, which is interesting to see. I think so. I might be getting mixed up, but I think he is. But yeah, he is really quick there. So rightly to see him in PSGL.
Yeah, I mean, he is really, really quick. I think that this battle between him and Rishon is going to last a little while. I am honestly quite surprised that Lewis decided not to pit. Is he waiting for another safety car,
I mean,
or do you think he's just trying to go full aggression?
You do have higher downforce setups in the rain, but I think if he's going to pit, he's going to wait till a safety car, because it's obviously with the new floor, he's only lost one end plate, so with the new floor, with the new regulations that introduce the floor to be a much more important aspect of the car this year, it's not the end of the world if you get front wing damage. So definitely taking full advantage of that and gonna stay out, get into I would say DRS train, but it is in the wet, so more of like a slipstream train. But,
yeah, you're right. Definitely more of a slipstream train. Speaking of which, I'm checking on a view of all the cars, and it is literally just a gigantic train with a couple rogue cars moving to the left and right, but it's basically just one little snake. Lucas Eduardo has lost 1.5 seconds to Balaz at the top, and Noel Carlman is down 2.5 seconds from Lucas Eduardo. What is going on with those two top guys, man? They are on fire.
Yeah. Noel Carlman in P3. Oh, is this yellow flags? Is that a safety car? What for? Oh, hang on. Rafa Martins and Matt are pitting for pitting. I'm not sure if that's...
Oh, Maddie's retired in the pits.
Maddie's retired in the pits. Did he have damage before he retired, or... Oh, Rafa Martins pitted damage. Because the game does trigger safety cars if there's like a lot of damage, a lot of debris on the track. It must have been for that.
It's a virtual. It is a virtual safety car rather than a full one, as you don't see the safety car itself pulling out of the pits. Let us know that it is virtual, but still what the heck happened back there?
I think there must have been a collision between those guys there. That's why it's out for damage. But yeah, wow. In the race with Ayub Khan that I was talking about, which I commentated 2 days ago, there was a lot of safety cars, which I think is a bit of a game bug. It might have been for the new patch, but I think safety cars are coming out a lot more frequently, even when there's a tiny bit of damage. So I hope we don't see it today, as there was not a safety car. Why did I think there was a safety car? I thought there was a safety car.
It was a full track yellow flag at least. It looked like it was full track. Everybody was slowing down. It looked like it was a VSC, so yeah, I think it was a VSC.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was a VSC. So
back to green now, as Rafa Martins finds himself a long way off the pack. That's probably why Lewis Piper didn't want to pit. If you're pitting, you're going to lose so much time, too much time to come back with if there's no more safety cars.
That's a good point. And Lewis Piper has already actually passed his way past Matt's while having damage. So it's not like Lewis is like inherently that much slower than I think he otherwise would be. He's definitely slower for sure, which tells you like, hey, this is a guy to watch out for.
Did he set a lap in qualifying? I'm surprised that he wasn't higher up.
No, he did not. He didn't even set a lap.
Wow.
All of them were invalid. Yeah. So
he's sat behind his teammate now. We'll see if his teammate wants to let him by or not. I think he will, to be honest.
I doubt it.
Yeah, pace
I
is really
doubt
close.
it. And also, one fun thing about league racing is there's a lot less of that team aspect and a lot more of that solo.
Yeah, with
just kind of prove what you got.
Yeah. But
so since we don't have DRS, we're going to be missing out on a lot of those overtakes down the public road and that turn 10 straight. With that being said, though, we will see people make dives. Like Lewis Piper is getting close to one, I think, on his teammate.
Larson was also very close behind Taz there, also looking for a move, but wasn't quite able to do it. Same with Lewis Piper.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at the gap between Lewis Piper and Yip Van Dam, it just looks like it's closing every single second.
It does. It really does.
You've got a way better exit out of that, and Matt's got a better exit than Lewis did, so Matt's might actually have an opportunity to challenge. Matt's even dumping some energy. He's thinking about it.
Is he going to be close enough? No. He sends it. Is he going to keep it in? He does keep the nose in. Oh, gets the turn as Yip Van Dam misses his corner there. Loses the position as Matt gets past Lewis Piper. Both Alpines losing positions. What happened to Yip Van Dam there? He just lost it.
I think he realized he wasn't going to make the corner and he backed out of it and took the escape road. Which credit where credit's due. That is a very mature decision to make, and it's hard to make in the moment.
It's definitely better to do that than risk anything.
Yeah.
I think Lucas Eduardo just closing in a little bit on balance. I don't know if that's just psychological, but I think it's Rishan finds a way to get past Lewis Piper, going round the outside there. That's his first overtake of the race.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So great job from him.
So now Mats and Lewis are both tied on position gains. They're both at 7 made up.
Yeah,
wow.
From those guys.
Have you checked to see what these penalties are for Taz and Mats yet?
They're both 3
like
seconds, so both track limits.
Yeah, both small ones. I guess the only person who could have like a pit penalty or something like that would have been Rafa Martins. And also, speaking of which, I think there was a collision with Matty and Rafa Martins at the very back when they both pit and Matty DNF'd. I think what happened, I just saw a chat from Matty. He says that his car was all over the place and he couldn't stop in time.
Oh.
So I think he may have hit Rafa Martins pretty hard.
Yeah,
or
that's really
been out of control. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Well, 20 laps to go, we've already seen a little bit of action. Who do you expect to make the next pass or make the next attempt at one?
I think Roshan, he wants to be fighting the grid. I would say Lewis, but Lewis is behind Roshan, so I think Roshan going to be looking. But as I say that, Taz is really close to the back of FedEx, maybe looking to get past as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to try to make a move if he can find a weak spot. I think he's just studying FedEx and finding, hey, where is FedEx weak and where am I strong?
Yeah.
So he can pounce on that weak spot and just make sure he's set up for success whenever he gets to that spot. Like right here, that's obviously a significantly faster exit for FedEx versus Taz.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Taz
all about
has
being
the
brave,
energy.
but Taz actually closing in here now with the little bit of ERS he is, but he's got a good exit and he's going to go pulling out to the left. Going to be making a move into turn 11. Can he do it? Yes, he can. FedEx looking to get the switchback. Can't quite do it though. Not quite there enough. But that's Taz up into P4 now.
And what do you think about that for FedEx on that defending? That doesn't seem like the most aggressive defending. Obviously, I kind of feel like
he knows he's gonna fall out of touch from Noel Carbon if he fights too much, and he's also going to be at risk to Larsen as well, which he doesn't want to do.
That's a good point. Yeah, I was going to say because it seemed like it was one of those moments where he really just kind of, just basically laid over and let it happen.
In the chat, someone was saying that changeover is soon, so it definitely, I think, has stopped raining, and the track is getting drier. I don't see any more raindrops, so I think what I said earlier about it going dry, that's why they might have the dry setups on. I think that might be actually might be coming true, because yeah, definitely no more rain. The track will be drying up. But,
wow, you're the weatherman.
I think.
How did you do that? That's actually kind of incredible that you got that right.
I actually can control the weather from here. It's pretty skillful. But,
look at that! It's a new spectator control with the new update, huh? That's what it is.
Yeah, I think
that's amazing. So with that switchover, who do you think is gonna struggle?
Yeah, rest is gonna be enabled. Well? So
yeah,
we'll see who does what. But yeah, DRS being enabled definitely increase the amount of overtakes we're seeing. But it does look really dry.
At the top.
I'm sure we'll be seeing some overtakes really soon, maybe even this lap, because it does look
It's starting to look dry pretty quickly, you're right.
I think we'll see. We'll definitely see some people dive into the pits, take the risk this lap. Maybe.
You think this lap people are going to start taking the risk, huh?
I mean, it looks dry enough, in all honesty. There is a dry line. I think Sector 3 doesn't look as dry. Sector 1 and 2, I think, did.
Yeah.
If I look at Rafa Martins, it definitely does look dry. But, I don't know, maybe that's just my eyes playing tricks on me. Maybe it's
so that being said, if it looks dry from Rafa Martin's point of view, then that means maybe Rafa will be the first one to take the pit because he gets the advantage of all 13 other people drying out the track for him.
Watch him pit a lap earlier and then win the race because of it. Is Ballas Palmer's to stay out. Lucas is always staying out. Okay, I think people will be staying out for another lap or two.
I mean, yeah, Ballas just sets the fastest lap. And I'm watching Noel Carlman go around the turn 17, 18, and he's still getting a little bit of wheel spin. So I still think it's a little bit soggy out there. I don't think it's quite early enough.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Rafa Martins to see what he does as well.
I see people make that mistake so frequently of diving into the pits basically as fast as they can when they think like, oh, there might be a changeover, and it ends up biting them in the butt. And I just don't want to see that happen to people because they spin.
Yeah, it's definitely a big risk, but big reward.
That's true. If you can put it down, it is a big reward. But
top 2 different gravy in these conditions. Hopefully it goes dry. Everyone closes up like in quali. Yeah, definitely the quali. Very close. We'll see how the top 2 manage, as you say. But Yeah, it would be. Hopefully it does dry up soon because I think we'll definitely get some really interesting racing once that happens.
Oh yeah, I agree. And speaking of that top two, remember how last week we saw Rishon just kind of running away with the race?
Just as you talk about him,
Interesting to
he's
see.
fighting for P7.
I know, yeah, which is crazy. But it's also interesting to see that, like, hey, you know, this race as well, we got people running away with the race.
Oh, what a camera angle that was.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Wow.
With Rishon and Mats.
That was nice.
That was like, what, positioned on top of the bridge or something like that?
Yeah,
amazing.
that was a really nice camera angle. Sorry, I interrupted you there.
No, I mean, like, it's very interesting that 2 races in a row, we have 1 or 2 people just absolutely dominating the rest of the field. None of our podium sitters from last week are on the top step right now.
I think Lucas Eduardo was close, but yeah, you're definitely right.
I think he did 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but I want to say he was right around there.
But Ballas Palmer, who definitely did look to be on course for a podium last week, is dominating this race. He's got a 2.2 second gap to Lucas Eduardo.
Hey, we've got our first pit stop.
Do we?
It's
Oh,
Lewis
we
Piper.
do. We'll go on board with him. And that's the
And
damage, actually. And he pits onto the hard, so looking to go to the end. Whether it's too early or not, maybe we'll see.
Well,
He's
remember,
he's going to struggle with cold tires, for sure. Oh, that's
He's been running that wing damage since the beginning.
Very good point.
I mean, oh my gosh, he's been running wing damage since the beginning of this race.
We'll see how much better it feels because he's going to be on cold tires as well. He doesn't do a yarn and he does manage to make the pit exit. This might be on cold tires. It look a little bit sketchy, but it'll be difficult. Oh, is he looking really sketchy? We'll definitely watch him. It'll be a slow out lap as he nearly loses it again. Almost drifting round turn 3 and 4. Yeah, he's definitely losing a lot of the time here because the tyres are so cold and it's so wet. But, well.
Also, Rafa Martins did end up pitting. He's on the mediums.
He is.
So both of them taking that aggressive strategy.
He'll definitely have an advantage then
off.
if he's on the mediums and everyone else is on the hards, especially in the wet. But, I think 17 laps, yeah, I think mediums maybe could do that. Especially when it's in the wet, so they'll be driving slower. But Lewis not wanting to take the risk.
However, they will also be spinning the tires more, which means they'll be shredding out all the rubber. So
that's true.
It's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in another.
Ballas Palmer pulls into the pits. Lucas Eduardo does not. It's just Lucas Eduardo trying a different strategy to overtake Ballas. We'll see because Ballas is the only person pitting in that top group, which surprises me. Onto the hards.
We got a couple people behind him.
Oh yeah,
starting to pit. Basically, everybody behind him except for Copy decided to pit. But you're right. Ballas Palmer taking the aggressive strategy and getting onto the hards.
Yeah, he does come out ahead of Yip Van Dam. Interesting.
Half the people say, like, hey, half the people are driving like, they can handle mediums. Half of them are saying they want to go with the hards. Yeah. It's very interesting.
I'll switch over to the tire page so you can see that. There it is. Yeah. So 2 people on the hards. Everyone else is on the mediums. Or the inters, obviously, those who haven't pitted yet. But, yeah, interesting to see the different strategies. You can see how much slower the cold hards are compared to the inters already fired up. Ballas Palmer already lost 2 seconds through the turn 6-7 as I think we just saw a Williams spin. I think it was Khan who just spun coming out of the pits. Cold tyres clearly not doing the best for him. DRS is enabled, so this is the time to come into the pits. We're going to see Lucas Eduardo for sure coming into the pits. What's up, Richie? Richie is an F4 commentator.
What's up, Richie? Hey, speaking of that DRS enabled, we're seeing some DRS on inters with Taz and Noel Carlman. Taz not going to have enough energy to make it happen either.
Yeah, he's using all of his
energy to poke a nose. Oh, just kidding. Look at him go.
My goodness, that was a late move. I wasn't even on board with him. Missed that, but he does get through. Both of them pulling it into the pits now. A chance to regain a little bit of ERS, but they're going to be on cold tyres, so we'll definitely be watching that battle. But Lucas Eduardo, is he going to come out ahead or behind of Ballas Palmer?
That was dirty of Taz. He stole the position right before they're about to go both get in the pit, so he's going to have track position on the way out. Sorry, that is nasty.
Ballas Palmer just had a massive lockup, nearly losing the rear end coming out of there. The hard still not fired up. And Lucas Eduardo has got a massive lead coming out of the pits now. So yeah, timing up much better, and he's on the mediums, which are going to be the faster tyre. Hopefully Ballas Palmer has not thrown away the win here because he was doing really well. But mind you, everyone is going to be on cold tyres ahead. But if we look at Lucas Eduardo, the gap to the leader.
Rishon just spun it.
Oh, that's not good.
And it was right in front of Ballas Palmer. That was almost a collision between the two of them. Sorry about
Well,
that. Oh my
he has
gosh, that scared
recovered.
the heck out of me.
Richie, you have done your own commentator's curse in the chat, cheering on Roshan, but he does spin. Copy retires from this session.
Yeah.
Did he spin and crash? Oh yeah, he did. Is that going to be a
He's
safety
dead
car? It's a
center of
full
track.
safety car.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So all these people that are in front of
Ooh.
Balaz are stoked because they have brand new tires, and they're going to get a whole nother lap of like a whole 2 or 3 laps of dry out before they have to get back on the tower. So,
I mean, that does change the deficit between them, but yeah, definitely the hards are going to be much more difficult to warm, and when it is damp, the mediums are going to be so much better. But I mean, it's almost as if the chat has come true because now it's dry, and now everyone's going to be closed up. So we'll definitely be seeing what everyone can do.
oh my god!
I think
this race just totally took a 180 right there halfway through.
I think Balance Palmer, I think he might have thrown it away here. I don't think going into the hards and going so early was the right call. at least Rishan's tires are warm now. Oh,
that's funny. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking like whenever I see people make these early pits, like I was saying, I'm like, dude, you are being way too aggressive for, kind of like basically hope more than data. And I've never been a fan of being the first to pit onto the
Rishan is putting into the pits.
Is he now? Ooh,
Probably for mediums, damage mats as well. Yeah.
Rishan might be going on to mediums.
Yeah, especially when as Mats goes on to the softs.
Wow.
Wow, that's going to be a lot better than the mediums. I mean, it's still 14 laps left. It's a risk because Rishan's gone to the mediums. I wonder if that was a mistake. If not, it's a very aggressive strategy.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that from Mats. I mean, Mats is basically just saying, like, hey, I have faith that there will be another safety car. And so he's popping on those softs because there's no way those are making it 14 laps, 12, 13 or 12 at speed. No way those softs are going to make it that long. So
yeah,
he's relying on another safety car or bonkers different level of pace as compared to the rest of the grid that'll make up for the 20 seconds he's going to lose for another pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, so someone in chat saying Rishan has the audio bug, and then you can't really tell when the wheels are spinning. So that basically means all you have is force feedback to judge on exits. So that's why he's spun, which is really unfortunate for him. The audio bug is such a horrible thing, but
it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's, in my opinion, it's one of the worst things about this new game. It's so hard for them to adapt through. Yeah. But they're making it work. Like, these top-level drivers, they still make it work. And what's amazing is Rishan, even with that hard audio bug, is still sitting in 10th place and not DNF'd. Like, that's... Yeah, that should go with at least a little bit of praise, because that's tough.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I could be the guy that could say, I could totally tell you how this is all going to play out, but honestly, I have absolutely no clue what the heck is going to happen now. With only 13 guys left and about 13 laps to go, 14 technically, this is absolutely anybody's race.
100%.
Even Lewis Piper sitting in the back, we already know that he has the ability to overtake. So he's going from last to he was in 7th for a second, and now he's back to last. So
interesting, Mats doesn't pull into the pits, so it is going to try and go from all the softs till the end. So risky strategy, but it could work really well. But I think Balaz will be definitely struggling on those hards, but maybe towards the end of the race, when he's got more tyre wear, he'll be able to fight. But no, I think the mediums can easily make 13 laps, so we'll see. We don't know how much tyre wear there is, how much tyre wear the drivers are going to be feeling. But Balaz with it all to do now in the second half of this race, going from dominating. You also got to remember he does have a massive. Well, not massive, but he's definitely a lot faster than those in the wet. So, if he has that pace in the dry as well, he could definitely challenge, still for the win, even.
Yeah, I agree. He definitely could. I am going to be, putting my focus on Lewis Piper at the bottom because I watched him at the beginning of the race, and I feel like he deserves another watch from me at the after the safety car restart. I think you're probably going to watch the top guys, aren't you? Yep,
I will, but I'll be definitely keeping him in mind.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I see anything crazy happening in the back. the other people that obviously, as we're talking about, Mats has a really good opportunity to do some crazy things. Do you think Mats is really going to try to push this all the way to the end?
I think he could. I think he should. I think it's nice to see a different strategy. Nice to see how much he can push. Apparently, Rishan's reporting his car sounds like a helicopter. Shows how horrible the bug is. It genuinely is really horrible. I've had it in league races, and it's so unbearable. But yeah, clearly doing a great job to manage that, especially in such a high level race and still with the competition that he's got. But Lucas Eduardo warming his tyres up. He's going to be restarting this race now. We'll see when he goes. He's going to be wanting to close the grid as much as possible to cool everyone's tyres down by himself, and he does. Oh, I thought he went, but he did not. We'll see if he goes early on the exit of 17.
We'll see. Still going slow.
He does. There we go. Now on the exit. It's a little bit scrawly. Probably not gaining as much as he could at that. I think Taz is going to have a nice run on him. We'll see if he can do anything into turn 1. I don't think he's going to be able to. But Lucas Eduardo maintaining the lead. We'll see if anything else is happening. As I think an Alpine, Van Dam cuts the corner a little bit as he does get a 3-second time penalty. Trying to overtake Larson. Not quite able to do it. Gone board with Lewis Piper, who got himself up into P12. Rafa Martins only into P15. There's going to be a 3-way battle for P9 now between Ayab, Mats, and I can't even speak. And sorry, Rishan. That was the other one. As Rishan diving it down the inside of Ayab Khan with the audio bug. He's going to make the move. Oh, there's an AlphaTauri who Maximilian loosed the back end completely. Got a great angle of that on stream. But
oh my gosh.
Wow, that was close.
This battle between Mats, Ayab, and Rishan is not over yet. Actually, Mats is trying to make a move on Ayab Khan now.
Yeah, Mats on the soft
basically
definitely
touching wheels.
A lot warmer. He's going to be able to have so much more grip, so much more traction as he sends it around the outside. Able to keep the position. Got on board with Ayab Khan. See if he can do anything. He can't. He's going to have to settle for P10 at the moment.
Yeah, because he's under danger from Lewis Piper, who, as we know, is going to be pulling, out every single stop he's got to try to get that position made up. Matt's, great restart from him on those soft tires. Definitely looking like it's paying some dividends for him. Balaz Palmer unable to make up any sort of position. He's the only one left on the grid on the hards. Would rather keep the hards.
Lewis Piper now going down the inside of Ayab Khan. Is going to be able to make the move in this corner. Yes, he has these forces. Ayab Khan wide. Ayab Khan not able to do anything against that. Very unfortunate. Losing that position. He's just going to have to try and get back into the points towards the end of this race.
So Lewis now wants to try to close that gap between him and Mats as quick as possible, so he can get back into the DRS zone. Yip Van Dam and Rishan are still going at it as well, a little bit farther up the grid.
As Mats is also trying to join that fight still. Yeah, on the sauce, as I said, having much more grip. We'll see if he can do anything at 10-7. No, not quite able to. Is he? Oh, no, mind. He sends it down the inside, makes a bit of contact. That's a questionable move.
That was questionable.
P11.
That might be shown to the stewards at the end of this race.
It might,
I think that's our first true racing incident level moment.
Yeah, that we actually managed to catch on stream this time.
Yeah.
Contrary to last week, Lewis Piper trying to challenge, even though he's on the mediums and Matt's on the soft. Lewis Piper still able to keep with him into the chicane now. He does not have to. Sorry, he does have to concede the position now. Lucas Eduardo has a 1.3 second gap, doing really well there. Balaz Palmer in P5, losing touch actually from that group. I'll put it back into the interval so you guys can see that. Rafa Martin, I think, is challenging Ayab Khan now for P10. We'll see if Rafa can do anything. Going down the outside, so round the outside of turn 17, looking for the switchback. Wasn't quite able to do it. Has to keep P11 for now.
A little bit further up the grid, I'd say put your eyes on Rishan and Larson, because they're going at it. Rishan just made a pretty big dive, and Rishan is now not too far away from getting into the DRS zone of his teammate, Balaz Palmer, who is also kind of his rival after last week.
I'm sure he's going to be very, very annoyed at himself for choosing the hards over the mediums. Maybe not. I mean, maybe we'll see. There's still 10 laps left. When the mediums have wear and the hards don't. Especially with such a close place field, we'll see what happens. But Lucas Eduardo looking in an optimum position to win this race at the moment.
Yeah, he is looking really good. I must agree. He looks very composed. He doesn't even look like he's really driving on the edge either. If you look at him, he looks like he's just kind of banging in the laps and just keeping it chill.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to keep the consistency up, keep the good pace up.
the end of the day, that's what makes a great driver is learning when to, take away that intensity. Oh, speaking of intensity, we've got Matt spun in the back actually.
Matt's on the softs. That's going to be really annoying for him as he loses his front wing as well.
It's all the way gone.
Damage.
Mostly gone.
Lost his right end plate. That's actually sad. And another spin. His
and
tires very hot. What's up, Jack? And now he's lost his whole front wing. That's such an unfortunate lap.
No.
He was doing so well. People saying all drivers have burnt ERS. We'll go through the ERS. Carmen looking good. Lars looking good. Both Mercedes looking good. Is there a safety car? A lot of people pitting.
It's a virtual, yeah, because of Matt's.
Let's see if Ballas doesn't. Ballas, I think he might have crossed the line because I think he would have wanted to go into the softs. Maybe. I don't know. Rashawn, God mode right now. He's in P6. He's going to be pushing as hard as he can now. It's a full safety car actually.
It is. Oh my gosh,
close the entire grid up. That also does give the drivers another chance to pit before they catch up to the safety car queue. So,
you're right.
Yeah, will we see
speaking of this,
people diving into
Speaking of this safety car, I do want to say something that's like slightly different off of race strategy, just something kind of fun. Have you ever actually, been in your car racing and been right behind the safety car?
Yeah.
You can now actually hear the sound of the safety car, and it sounds great.
Did you not do that before? I did not know that.
No, it was like basically dead quiet. But now they actually really emphasize the engine sound.
It's the little things in life.
It's the little things, man. Yeah. So, do you think Ballas is gonna pop in the pits? What do you think?
Oh, it's a risk, but I don't think he needs to. I feel like he's better off staying on the hards, staying with at least sort of similar pace to the mediums, and just having to cope. Because I think if he does pit, you'll see he'll lose too much time. He'll drop down into P7, which, to be fair, is only 2 positions. And if he's on the softs, you know what? I changed my mind. I think he should pit.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking too. And I think, oh my god, I'm surprised a lot of these front runners aren't pitting. He doesn't. Why? Larson does. Larson's smart move. He has a free pit stop. Absolutely take it. I'm so surprised that other people didn't. I think the reason why other people didn't do it is because the fact that Lucas didn't. I think if they all saw that Lucas was doing it, they would have gone in.
I think Ballas should have just taken a look and done the opposite. I think that would have been the best idea.
Absolutely.
His tyres can go to the end, and he can also pit now. But
plus, if he goes in, Rishon's behind him. That also means Rishon knows, oh, I can't go in. I'm gonna get double stacked.
That's true.
Yeah, he definitely should have. I mean, if you look at where Larson is right now, he came out more than 3.5 seconds in front of the rest of the pack.
Yeah, so
he was
super
safe,
and he would have come out in P6. So wasted opportunity there, but not the end of the world.
Yeah. You're right. It's not the end of the world. It'll add some new intrigue.
Yeah, at least everyone around him didn't pit. Obviously, apart from Larson. But yeah, he'll be okay.
So with that being said, since Larson did pit, and you've got people like Ayub Khan and Lewis Piper who are on some fresh softs, Rafa Martins as well. Do you think they're gonna get all these positions made up, and do you think they're gonna end up challenging for the podium, if not the win, by the end of this race?
The soft runners?
Yeah.
Larson... it's difficult. We've seen how good Lewis Piper is in P9 at the moment, overtaking. Could he be challenging for a podium? I mean, it depends how much faster the softs are from the mediums. There's no... Like in Australia, you have like the C3 and then the C5. Or, yeah, there's a gap between them, between the compounds. But in Miami, I don't think there is, and I think it's that they're all balanced out. So I don't think there's going to be too much. Obviously, there will be a significant pace difference, but it won't be, I don't think, enough to really have a dominant sort of... so I'm going on here. A dominant sort of pace advantage. So I don't think it'll be enough.
Plus, also, we're not even going to be resuming out of safety car until at the earliest, the next lap, which will be lap 23. It just depends how long it takes for Mats to get back up there. And he's looking pretty far out, you know, so he's about 40 seconds away from the pack. So that's going to be hard to make up that time, even just within this lap.
I mean, Lars and Ayub definitely, like Lewis as well, definitely have an advantage, but only, there's going to be, around 5-6 laps, as you said.
Yep.
But yeah, it's difficult to tell how much can they do in these 5-6 laps. I
Yeah,
think you
it's
also think
it's
about Ballas Palmer as well. Sorry.
yep.
Just there, because if the mediums are starting to wear off, he's going to have an advantage. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the race is too short for that to have an effect, to be honest.
But we also never know. We could have a giant crash in the front, and then 4 people crash out, and the race could totally turn on its head. So
That's true. That's true.
we
Anything
never
can
know.
happen.
Exactly, anything can happen. If 4 people crash out, we get what I call, actually, if only 3 people crash out, we get what I call an Oprah race, which is where everybody gets points.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah, if all finishers are in the top 10, then yeah, everyone gets points. I call them Oprah races.
I mean, I hope that doesn't
And
happen,
after-
because I'll be very sad
Yeah,
for those
Yeah,
people who lose out.
yeah, that would be terrible. That would be 60 NFs. That would be absolutely atrocious. So, safety car looks like it's not going in yet.
No, they normally announce it at the start of Sector 3, so... Oh, that's now. They're not announcing it, so I think they're going to have to wait till that to catch up. So there will be another lap, I think, on the safety car.
Unless it's a super late call, which it won't be. No, Mats won't be able to catch it. So, yep, safety car staying out. So that means we've only got, what, 5 laps of speed?
Yeah, I mean, we were, what, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, so 6 laps of racing.
6. Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
Not much,
6
not
laps.
much. But
That's not a lot. No, I'm thinking that the most heroics we're going to see is maybe that Larson through Lewis pack.
hang on, Mats
7th
is
or
coming
9th,
to the pits
maybe
again.
make it up into top 5. But
Mats is
that's
coming
it.
to the pits again. I wonder if he's just
Oh
trying
my
to keep it
God.
out as long as possible to maybe help his teammate, to be honest. Give the people behind less time to overtake, maybe, by pitting. Is that crazy
could
team
be.
tactics that we're seeing?
Like, if it is, that's some serious team plays for Mats. Like, absolutely amazing that
I
he's
mean,
willing to do that.
How long can the safety car really stay out? I mean, if he pits every lap, I don't know.
I think it's what I think it maxes out at 4 or 5.
Yeah, so it
4 or 5
definitely
laps.
will come in soon. But I actually think that's a possibility. He is doing that to extend the amount of time that the safety car is out for.
Well, he's about to catch up. I mean, he's making up massive amounts of time, so I think he's done doing that.
Yeah.
I think he's done with shenanigans, and he's just gonna go, and he has the freshest tires possible, so he's ready to go put some hot laps down and see if he can make up a couple positions from 13th and maybe even get into the points.
Yeah.
Now, if we do notice, we've got 6 people on the grid with penalties. Have you checked the penalties yet?
I'll go back onto the penalties. All 3 seconds.
All of them 3 seconds. Yeah.
That's going to make the fight for points interesting. The last
Yeah,
points
so
position,
Taz-
all of those are penalties.
Taz is in a bad spot
That's true.
with that
That's true.
with those 3 seconds, and with how close this grid always is, right?
Yeah.
He could lose upwards of 5 or 6 positions just from a 3-second time penalty,
Yeah, for sure.
which could take him from where he's sitting in P3 all the way down to like P2 all the way down to like P6 to 8.
Yeah. He's definitely going to have to push as hard as he can to get that. But it's not impossible. Safety car is in this lap. Finally, we are going to have...
Let's go racing!
What was it? 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Yeah, so 6 laps of racing. See what he can do. See what everyone can do.
Ballas Palmer at the end of this race will have the most worn down tires at 16 lap old hards. The rest of the medium guys will be running at 15 laps. And the softies will all be around that 9 laps, just under 10. So this tire strat is going to be, I think, the make or breaker of this race, because now the weather has changed to dry. It's really all about your best grip. So let's see what happens, Chiz.
It's dense. We'll see. When is he going to go? When is he going to pull? I think he's already done it. No, he's still going slow. I was on board with him as he pushes. And now on the exit of turn 17, doing it as quick as he can. To try and get the biggest jump as he can. On Taz, he's already made quite a gap there. Bit of audio. His
Speaking
hip
of
band's
Taz,
down.
Noah Carlman was trying to get past him right there before the turn 1. He couldn't do it.
That's very unfortunate for him. I think Yip Van Dam, did he drop down to 13th? Or was he already there? I don't know. But
He dropped down a couple positions.
yeah, also.
All right, Mats.
I think maybe just
positions.
caught sleeping. But as Mats goes wide at turn 6, I think that is. Turn 5, 4
Oh,
even.
Yeah,
Another
that's
stint
tough.
for him.
I think he was in a bad spot where he was trying to battle with Yip Van Dam and just bad timing for it.
He was doing so well at the start. It's really unfortunate to see that. But we'll see now. Anyone going for a dive on there is Rishan. Or is that Ballas? So Ballas looking to get down the inner side of Pedrick. Doesn't able to do it. But meanwhile, Larsen and Rishan are fighting. Oh, Rishan squeezing Larsen threading the needle there. Larson really was, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow, that was close, but Larson staying behind.
Oh,
There's
that's
Maximilian.
Ayub Khan.
It's Ayub, I'm sorry, my bad. Spins around. Oh, so unfortunate. It's so sad to see this happen. Races get ruined.
I know.
No more fight for points for him. But it's Ayub Khan also gets a 3-second time. I'm only keep on the penalties. You guys know what tires are on.
Yeah.
As there is overtaking Valas Farmer, getting him to P4. Overtaking FedEx now. He's going to be charging for that podium. Come on, Ballas, I'm all for it. You can do it.
FedEx is going to fight him back. I guarantee you. FedEx is going to late break right here.
Not
Oh, just kidding. He didn't actually.
Unlucky.
Yeah, it's good defending from Ballas.
Well, to be honest, he might be
You
able
see
to
him
back
taking up all the
his
track.
teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rishan now looking at the back of FedEx. Is he going to do it? He's going to go down the inside into turn 4 here. Can he do anything? Through turn 5, not quite. Turn 6. It's so close. He goes around the outside. All the way around the outside of turn 7. Is he going to make contact? He does get forced out a little bit. Oh, he's going to lose a position to Lewis 5 because of that. Lewis 5 up into B7. Wow.
Yeah.
Rishan.
He's just watching everybody, just kind of battle each other and throw punches, and he's like, hey, I'll just take these positions. This one's mine, and this one's mine. Not even worried.
That's fun again. Oh, it's Larson trying to send it around the outside of FedEx on the soft tyres. He goes into the back of FedEx and spins. He spins around. Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
Rishan also spins around. Oh my goodness. Can't keep up. Trying to look at everyone. Rishan losing out. I'm not sure if that was because of that, but Alfa Romeo
I think it was.
I think Larson spun the Alfa Romeo, and then Rishan having to avoid it and not able to keep it solid. But Ballas Farmer won't have anything behind him now. Is fully able to go and challenge for the guys ahead. That was a bit. I don't think that was FedEx's fault, to be honest.
It looked like it might have been FedEx's fault because I think he was up in front and he was on the inside of that turn. That turn 12.
Oh, is Larson,
that wide.
What's happened? Larson is losing a lot of positions.
Oh yeah, he is.
Massive.
He just got swirling.
Yeah.
The end of this race is something special, man. What the heck is going on?
I'm trying to figure out what just happened. Is the shadow flags down in sector 1 as Ayub Khan spins it around. No, not what you want to see, but
wow. You think it's
yeah.
nerves getting to these guys?
Maximilian goes off there. Sorry, losing position to Rishan. I think. Well, I'll talk you through the other thing because I think what happened there was Larson was trying to go a little bit faster through the corner instead of FedEx, but I'm not 100% sure. But those, coincidentally, those guys are now fighting for a P8 now.
Yeah.
As ahead of them actually, Raffamaster's going down the inside of Idiot's down. Matt's retires in the pit, obviously not thinking his race is going to end up to anything. So unfortunate to see that. FedEx now trying to keep it clean with Larson, not want to make any more contact, not able to do anything. So they're going to go through to the turn 14, 15 complex, turn 16, all behind him. But yeah, so close, but yes, so far.
So these soft runners, they did well enough to be able to capitalize on some positions, like Lewis, Rafa Martins, and Yip Van Dam, all now up into 5th, 6th, and 7th. But then you've got, everybody else that did not hit.
I think it's ironic that the people who didn't hit now have a massive gap. Yeah. Yeah, Ballas Farmer, 1.7 behind. I hope he can do something. I'm cheering for him. He deserves something still from this race.
Yeah, I agree.
Taz fight as Khan spins again in the final sector.
I mean, I'm looking at Balaz's sector times, and he is banging in some laps. Like at the beginning of this lap, he was at a 1.8 second deficit. He's now at a 1.4.
Wow.
So it's not like he's slugging around.
To be fair, he's also using a lot of his DRS compared to the guys ahead. Does he get the 3-second time penalty? Ballas Farmer with the 3 seconds. So he would have actually got P3 because of Taz's, but now he's gonna have to overtake Taz on track. That's unfortunate for him. That really is.
And for him to overtake Taz on track is just that's almost too much to ask.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's not impossible, to be fair, but it's a lot.
Yeah. In 2.5 laps, he's got to make up 2.5 seconds. That's the big gap.
Yeah, just gone board with Lewis LaGuardia because he can look behind him. See, the gap isn't really that big. It's 1.5 seconds. Those 5/10 could be fought from anywhere, but he's doing really well here to be having that gain. But yeah, it's interesting to see what can happen. And Noel Carlin, look in the back of Taz. He doesn't have to overtake him. He knows he's gonna lose time to Ballas. Ballas got the gap to 2 seconds. Maybe a little bit of a morale, not boost, more of a lowering from that time penalty, because that does affect pace a lot.
Yeah, he's definitely slowed down a pretty significant amount. Lewis Piper just needs to make up 7/10, and he can steal that position off him. So Lewis Piper needs to realize that and say, all right, hey, it's time to go pedal to the metal. I got 2 laps to make some heroics work. But he is fighting against this race's pole sitter, so it's not like he's, in a... He's got it all up to do against basically the fastest guy in the lobby, so...
Yeah, but Noel Carman,
big
his debut, looking at a P2 result, which is really strong on the debut, especially in such a high-tier league.
Yeah, and this is, it's right, yeah, this is his debut. He also was the lobby host, fun fact. Very kind of him. Ooh, Maximilian has actually spun in the back.
Saw that.
So
unfortunate. Pretty much securing Rashan to get the last point. Oh, it's actually there's a fight between Yip Van Dam and FedEx now. P8. I think I saw a little bit of contact there. And the onboard is Rashan. Rashan brakes very late there. Luckily, not making any contact, but he is all over the back of them, of that entire group. To be honest, Battles Palmer still 1.5 seconds behind. Not quite able to do anything. Also to note, Yip Van Dam has 6 seconds as Rashan hits the back of him, causing Yip Van Dam, to lose into her end, and Rashan getting into P9. I was going to say Yip Van Dam had a 6-second time penalty, which is not going to help his case whatsoever. But starting the penultimate lap now, the last lap now, Lucas Eduardo with a 2-second gap. Battles Palmer has got to make up 4 tenths in this first sector. He's got no ERS. He's going to have to be pushing as hard as he can to try and get Taz. No Carbon got, past Taz on track, so
yeah, I was going to say that. Noel Carlin had it done on track, and so that means Battles Palmer has a shout of a chance to somehow make it past Taz.
He's going to have to
That's
send
1 lap
it
for 1.5 seconds.
As Lewis Piper is fighting with Lars, and Lewis Piper goes behind, maybe trying to get the DRS though, because obviously there is still the rest of the lap to do anything. 1.5 seconds as his yellow flags as Rashan. Rashan's out. Rashan. Oh, he was only looking to get 1 point, but 1 point is still important.
Oh no.
I'm not sure. I think he crashed. Yeah, I think he spun it on the curb. Calm is going to take the fun way. It's the exact thing you were talking about as Maximilian also retired. It's the what's that, the Oprah race.
The Oprah race. We've got one. Everybody gets a point. You get a point, and you get a point.
But Battles Palmer is exactly 1 second behind. He might actually be in the DRS because the DRS detection. I'm not sure if he got it or not. I don't think he did. Battles Palmer, I don't think he would have been enough anyway, to be honest. But look at that, everyone's empty batteries. But Lucas Eduardo, he's dominated this race. He's going to come around the final corner, and that's going to be it. If he can just keep it clean, he can. PSGL round 2, Miami. The win goes to Lucas Eduardo in the Ferrari. What a race from him. Noel Carbon picks up P2 and Taz picks up P3. We'll just go through the rest of the penalties. Obviously, Battles Palmer doesn't get P4. Larson gets P5. Rafa Martins P6. FedEx gets P7. Lucas Piper gets... Oh, sorry. Yip Van Dam gets P8. Lewis Piper still... There you go. Finishes P9. And Eb Calm finishes P10. What a race.
No, Lewis Piper looks like he's desynced. There it is. Lewis Piper's P6.
Oh, is he? Oh, P6. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, Lewis did better than P9. Yeah, he's P6. Yeah. Wow, that was a heck of a race. Oh my gosh. That was crazy. And Lewis Piper, driver of the day, well deserved for him as well. I think he had one of the most ridiculous races. He went up and down and up and down, and it still ended up in a pretty solid points finish for him. So well done to Lewis Piper. That's making the most of a bad situation.
Lucas Eduardo gets on the podium. Started P2. Was it P2? I think it was P2. Yes.
Lucas Eduardo?
Yep.
No, he started P6.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, that's a great win then from P6. Sorry, who started P2?
Yeah, no.
That's
Taz.
Of course it was. Yep. That's a mistake for me. Sorry, yeah, no. Lucas Eduardo coming from P6 even to take the win. I think he's my driver of the day, to be honest. Yeah, great.
That's a good
drive from him.
And then Noel Carlman.
If drivers are watching in the chat, if you want an interview, you obviously head into the EC. The waiting room one. I think there's one. But sorry, I'll just take you through the final results now. There we go. So Lucas Eduardo taking the win there. If it could show me. the Delta. That'd be great. There you go. Just take you through all that. Lucas's game crashed. Or Lewis's game. I don't even know. Anyway, there you go. Here's the race director. Let's go through that so people can see what happened. But yeah, very chaotic race there. Great fun to watch.
Yeah, that was absolutely bananas. I will say, as we said, Lucas Eduardo as your driver of the day, I think he did do a great job. But I think that Larson still takes, Lewis Piper still takes my driver of the day, and I think my hard second goes to Noah Carlman. Though he did not get the win, I think he had a significantly more consistent race. He stayed out of trouble, just kind of waited for things to happen around him, and just played the game. And I think he did a really great job. I'm pretty proud of him for that result. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, I think the reason why I'd give it to Lucas over Lewis, although Lewis did get through back, he obviously didn't make mistake with the damage, but it's not about what they did bad. It's more, I think Lucas had so much downright pace. So P6 as well. Richie says it's nice if Ferrari could do that in real life. I agree. But
yeah,
wow. Nonetheless, such a great race.
We've got one person waiting in our waiting room for an interview. Before I get into that, I do want to say one more thank you again, obviously, to GT Omega for sponsoring today's race and for the entire league. Seriously, if you guys are sim racers and you guys haven't even checked their stuff, you've been missing out. Like, it's exceptionally amazing stuff. So we're going to go bring Noel Carlman up into the box. Let me go grab him. Mr. Noel Carlman, how's it going?
All good, all good.
Good. My man, that was an amazing race. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good because I did what I could out of it. Damaged the whole race, obviously. Yeah, struggled, but I did what I could.
You had damage the whole race. What kind of damage did you have? Was it wing damage or was it floor?
Yeah, I have orange front wing damage on the left side.
For the whole race?
Yeah, since lap 1.
Oh my gosh. And so then, with that being, I had no idea because it didn't actually show on the spectator client. So with you running with that orange wing, how did you keep it cool and keep calm throughout all that pressure, knowing that you were going to have it kind of up against you for the rest of the race?
Well, wet was easy because obviously it's hard to pass in the wet. Dry was just, okay, let's keep up with task, get DRS. I still felt like I had good pace. So, well, I tried the first pit stop. I tried to pit for a new wing, but it didn't put me on a new one because it was out of.
No.
But I think that actually helped me get the P2 result. But yeah, it was hard.
That's what we call the happy accident, as coined by Bob Ross. Yes. Man, that's amazing. I did not know that you were running on a damaged wing. I literally could not tell. You were looking so consistent and clean. I could tell you weren't like recklessly pushing your car. You were just kind of putting in the laps and staying consistent. Was that kind of your mindset, or were you actually pushing and we just couldn't see?
Well, I was pushing on some corners. Some I knew I couldn't push with the damage. But no, it's just I tried to keep calm and not push too much because obviously then I would just understeer to heaven, you know. I don't want to do that. I was pretty much being chilling the entire race, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see you were you didn't seem frantic. There were some other people that seemed frantic. Like there were some moments like when Lucas would restart a safety car that he seemed like he was frantic on his restart. But you just seemed cool, calm, and just ready to go whenever something was thrown your way. You just seemed like you were ready to take it. So I think you had an incredible race. And then how did you feel about that? The last question I want to ask you, in that crossover section where you decided to pit after Ballast Palmer, what made you decide to pit that one lap later than when he did?
Yeah, I was like, okay, there's 3 people in front of me. No, 2 it was at the moment. And I was like, no, it's too early. I usually pit when I see the DRS thing go in, because, then it's the crossover point officially almost. I was like, nah, it's too early, still wet. And I wasn't really overheating the tires. I was like, I can go another lap without losing too much.
That makes sense. So you're basically waiting for that DRS mark, and then also you were checking your tire temps to make sure that you weren't overheating, because obviously if you're overheating, that's a pretty good indicate that it's time to change.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I like your style. Well, hey man, it obviously worked out. That P2 finish is amazing, and what a debut for the season. Well done.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you next week. We're gonna go bring Rishon up in here, but I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you.
Well, how about that, Rishon? How's it going?
Not too great.
Not too great. I had a feeling, man. I wanted to ask you really what happened to your race, man. You were looking pretty solid. The qualifying was pretty all right. It wasn't your best, wasn't your worst, but it's in the very end. What happened?
Well, it was just I had floor damage at the end of the race. Well, actually for the entire race, basically, and it really just affected the stability of the car. Also, the tire wear wasn't equal anymore, so all the balance was just shifted. So yeah, it was very difficult to drive the car in general. But well, I think I still had the pace, I still had relatively good pace. It's just unfortunate that like towards the end of the race, I think it was lap 25 where I got taken out twice. Very very unfortunate. But I could not have done any more. In that situation, I was on the outside both times, and well, then after that, I was pushing too much on final lap, trying to catch up, and then the damage gave me a massive snap, and that was the end of the race basically.
Yeah,
It
I
was
was
just a very
wondering.
unfortunate sequence of events.
Yeah, and I remember I think I was on your camera. It was either that spun or it was your teammate. I can't remember who spun, but one of you two spun right in front of the other. I think it was like lap 20-ish or so.
Yeah, I think it
Was that you that spun or was that him?
It was probably me because I got spun around.
Yeah, I was wondering when that happened. That seemed a little bit scary. So good on you to keep the composure after that. But then, unfortunately, as obviously it finished off not the way you wanted it.
Yeah.
Now, what lessons are you going to bring in from this week to carry on to next week to see if you can improve?
Well, just keep pushing and send it for the next one. Bounce back a bit. Well, I was looking very good actually. Like it was just looking good for a damage limitation race, but yeah, unfortunately everything happened towards the end of the race, and it just didn't go my way. So yeah.
Yeah, next one will be better. You gave us what I affectionately call an Oprah race, where everybody that finishes gets a point. So I will say thank you for that. I got to bring out one of my favorite signature commentary moments. So thank you for that. Well, hey man, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for popping in here, and we shall see you hopefully on the podium next week.
Yes, thank you.
See ya.
See you.
All right, bye. So,
well, Chiz, it looks like the other drivers aren't able to interview, so it's about time for us to wrap it up.
Right.
Tell me your last thoughts.
I'm excited. Next race is... What's the next race?
Oh my gosh, I totally just forgot. I literally had it in my head too.
Why is my mind blank? I'm sorry. The next race though. Definitely going to be interesting. Was it Baku? I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think you're probably right.
Actually, I have the calendar
just
here.
check real fast.
There you go. It might say Austria. There you go.
We all have calendars, right? What are we doing?
Yeah, it says Austria.
No, it's Belgium.
Oh, it's Belgium next. Sorry, that is round 2 Austria. Whoops. Basically,
so
Belgium next.
Yeah,
race.
Going to Spa. Speaking of which, by the way, this weekend right now is the actual official 24 hours of Spa GT race. Fun fact.
Very fun fact.
In real life. So yeah, so Spa, personally one of my actual favorite tracks in the entire world, if not my favorite track in the entire world, not just on an F1 calendar, but just out of all of motorsports. I think it's
definitely
arguably one of the best tracks ever made.
I think it's a fan favorite as well.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They say it might even leave the calendar next year, which would be shocking because it's such a famous track, such a good track, such a good race in there. It's it's quite a long circuit as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to leave the calendar. Yeah. I have the hot take that there's no way they're going to get rid of it. They'd rather get rid of France than Spa. And
yeah, there's definitely more preferable ones to lose. But yeah, it's a great track, great racing. I'm sure we'll see that next week. I'm really excited to see who can come out on top there.
And in this tier, I don't expect there to be any problems up Eau Rouge, but you never know.
So it's always
and
exciting.
Those are always Those are always fun whenever you see a little battle going up a Rouge. So, definitely a lot to look forward to. Well, do you want to say thank you to our sponsors one last time?
We will. Again, thank you GC Omega and Grid Rival for bringing these streams. Obviously, the most important parts of PSGL. So always nice to see. But any closing thoughts?
I'd say this race definitely got very interesting at the end.
Definitely.
I'm stoked to see how next week goes, and I hope that everybody enjoys the rest of y'all's week. Make sure to check out the rest of our tiers too. We are not the only one, and spread the love.
Okay, so yeah, see you guys all next week. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.
See y'all.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega and Grid Rival, proudly supporting PSGL.